Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still in a war over here, but we got some events to take a look at, so let's take a look. We're in 2 wars, technically. We got some events to take a look at, so let's take a look at them. First, the intelligentsia petitioned the government. Representing his constituents, the intelligentsia, Rui Barbosa has issued a formal petition to the Brazilian government to pass freedom of Bro, I already said no to this. Why are you still faffing about? I don't want to go back to being a Catholic state. Okay, so they're going to be very unhappy if I say no a second time. Can I counteroffer them something? Ugh, this is really a pain. Actually, here's what we'll do. We'll see what we can do, and then I'm going to grab this guy. And in 3 years, I can put him into leadership of the intelligentsia, and then they won't want this anymore, and it'll be fine. Haha. So, he's liked, so he'll be fine. Alright, cool. So, generals misfired cannon. An affair between Marco Antonio Labatut and pretended Moraes Barros' spouse has reached our ears, threatening to affect his public image if we don't destitute the general. Bali says the Dutch East Indies against Jambi. I don't necessarily concern myself with that. As if being caught in the act wasn't enough, Marco Antonio Labatut stepped from the bath to see a telltale rash spreading. There was only one liaison he was seeing. Now there was no denying it, not after the general's very flesh betrayed the affair. We still need a general, and these are personal matters. 10% chance of Presidente de Moraes Barros becomes an alcoholic. 90% chance of nothing happens. And then he gets syphilis. We got a peace offer about to pop, so I'm going to let that go. Landowners get covered affair. And he gets syphilis, which gives him a health penalty. Or we cannot trust a man like this. Landowners become happy, and he sits down. So he is a jingoist who aligns with the industrialist. He is a defensive strategist with expensive tastes who is an alcoholic. You know, I can sacrifice a general on the altar of foreign affairs. We cannot trust a man like this. And then let me just make sure that I've got sufficient leadership in the First Army. This guy is very good. Hermes de Fonseca. He's an historical figure. Interesting. And a Republican. Let's get him. He's an experienced defensive strategist, and he's charismatic, and he's a political operator, which could prove useful. I'm going to leave him at 2, since he's a Republican. Alright, we got a peace deal popping off. I'm a non-negotiating participant in this war, so I do not have any ability to influence that situation, so they're going to wipe peace out, and that's going to be what it is. Cool. Britain's still fighting its primary war against the British, but that is working. Great Britain sides with Prussia. Hold on. What's going on over here? Against Communist Mecklenburg. Shame they won't pay me huge piles of cash to intervene. But that's alright. Why are we so low success chance? Oh, from corrupt connections. Well, that's okay. We can live with that. Alright. So, Augusto Caldwell. I need to keep an eye on him to put him in charge of the intelligentsia once again when the time comes. In construction, we're still working on building our canal. It's going to be another half a year until that's done. And I'm getting ready to annex Venezuela. Finances are looking pretty solid overall. We're losing a little bit because of our shortage of bureaucracy, and we have a debuff, but that's going to last a while. Unresponsive governments should go away. Oh, we got dealing with corruption, too. Yeah, we got big bureaucracy debuffs right now. That's alright. That's why we're building more bureaucracy. Alright, so we've got the British Rebellion fully occupied. So that's going to take another few weeks to sort itself out. And then we'll be good to go. And we can go after Venezuela as much as we need. Britain is still our allies, right? Yes. And they've got multilateral alliances research, which is bananas. There's repeater. Alright, perfect. We will get our arms industries using repeaters. Oh my goodness, we had them on muskets. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I know how it happened. It happened because it happened due to me being a silly. Oh, City of Plenty. The prominent members of Pernambuco high society have been seen organizing lavish parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. Luxurious parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. Marble walls, shimmering stone. The noise of people... Hey, there's identification documents. Wonderful. The noise of people coming and going brings the city back to life, and we didn't even know it was dead. Tall buildings cover the sunset. Kids play with bricks. Smoke blends with the clouds, and a distant bell announces the next train. Progress is coming. I can let them celebrate, which gives them just 10% loyalists among the upper and middle strata. Or I can say the party will never end, which is 25% loyalists, but it caused the upper strata in Pernambuco to want higher standards of living for a while. So, let's take a look at our population here. The wealthy have a minimum expected of 20 and have a current average of 40. So I'm extremely likely to win this bet that it won't go below the minimum average. The minimum expected, rather. So I'm going to say the party will never end. And that's going to give us a fat stack of loyalists. Cool. We have a Brunei uprising in the Dutch East Indies. So that's interesting. This is a crush secession CB. We have a crooked connections debate. So I'm going to look into this in a second, just to see if I can get another pile of cash or something. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding universal suffrage, Rui Barbosa of the intelligentsia has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. A few words in the right ears is all I'm asking for. Everything within the bounds of the law, of course, although I cannot guarantee that our opponents in this matter will view such actions with much glee. No, we do this by the book or not at all. It takes even longer. Our granted permission time is of the essence. It's faster, but the industrialists become upset. I'm not going to upset the industrialists anymore, so I'm going to do it by the book. Very sad. All right. Anyone willing to give me a pile of cash? Only an obligation. Only a trade agreement. All right. We're not worrying about that. So, let's go. Let's get Venezuela annexed. Italy will probably side with Venezuela. That doesn't make me very happy. But I can get Britain on my side if they do. Alright. They've said no, predictably. So we'll mobilize the armies. And we'll go ahead and place our two main armies on the front here. The only country we can sway is Britain. Russia might go to Venezuela, but it doesn't look like it. Italy very well might, though. Relations with Italy are cordial, but they're much weaker than Britain militarily. So I'm hoping Britain will help us win this war without having a problem. And then we'll have the whole north properly taken over. And that'll be good. We're going by sea, it seems like. Let's bring the Armada Nacional back to South America. Britain is offering support in exchange for absolving the obligation. I'm going to deny for now, or decline for now, and I'll bring them in if Italy steps in. Because if we can get Britain in there, if we don't need Britain, we shouldn't call them in. But if Italy joins, then we'll need to be ready. I'm just watching this one like a hawk. Lots of people declaring neutrality, which is great for me. Wait, did Britain bail? Britain bailed. Those nerds. Gosh dang it. If Italy joins this thing when Britain's already... We're allies, Britain. Oh, you bastards. Uh-oh. Capitalist revolt in America. I mean, need to step in. Okay, it looks like Italy's not going to join. So... hoping this goes down without a hitch. If it doesn't, I'm going to need to really scramble. And that could be a problem. Come on. Alright, perfect. Italy has declared neutrality as well, so this is going to go just fine for us. So, wow, that is a large American capitalist revolt. So, we got a rubber rush event. This place seems most effective. I'm going to do the same thing I always do. So, can I get huge piles of cash from America? Customs Union. Interesting. I can't. I could get a trade agreement. That wouldn't necessarily be useful to me. So, USA is a very infamous major. I don't think anything's gonna go down here with this. I'm gonna improve relations with the revolt, and we'll just kind of see how things go. Because I think the revolt, the American capitalist revolt, is actually gonna win. Seems likely, unless someone else really steps in. And America doesn't really have anything to offer me that I want. 2 arms. Alright, let's see how our battles are going off here. We got one about to get started. Excellent. We got another inefficient agriculture event. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Pernambuco, stating that their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our land suffers, relegated to tired and calloused hands, too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level, too poor to be able to use more advanced tools that would make them more profitable. This industry is just a useless investment. I'm going to say we should follow their advice. It's going to get us radical upper sternum pops in that area, but I can't afford to make the industrialists angrier than I've already made them. They're at +6 right now. We're still working on Universal Suffrage. Oh, we have a dissenters break ranks again. Alright. To outside observers, the intelligentsia may appear firmly committed to the idea of universal suffrage. But behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now a clique of dissenters have finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of reform. For how long have we stood together? How many times have we lent a willing hand your way? Yet our own concerns are left unanswered, our own desires unmet. If we shall not be heard here, we shall be so elsewhere. I can say splitters, may the devil take them. This is minus 15% enactment chance, and it weakens the intelligentsia. I can loosen the purse strings, which weakens the intelligentsia less, and gives you a small reduction in enactment. Or I can offer them custodianship, and it costs us some cash. Or I can offer them custodianship over a new draft. This increases enactment time, gives me a setback, but increases enactment chance. I'm going to say splitters, may the devil take them. That's going to set success down below 0. It is going to weaken the intelligentsia, but it's also going to make... it's going to give me a setback and have this reset to like 20% or wherever it was. So I think that'll actually be fine. Looks like we're having another successful battle here. And our allies in Britain are going after... China, in order to do what? To grab Shaozhou and get a treaty port. How do they have a return claim on Shaozhou, I wonder? There's Aniline, that's nice. Where's Shaozhou? So this is Zhejiang. So they're going to have a treaty port here, but they're also going to have the state. I don't know what's going on with that. We're already getting huge piles of cash. I could ask for a war goal. I could ask for a transfer subject war goal. Okay, Great Qing backs down. Interesting. Oh, Shaozhou. As opposed to Suzhou. Alright, that's my bad. Legislative failures, that's alright. Despite many efforts on the part of the government to successfully revive universal suffrage from its present imbroglio, the law has come to be regarded as nothing but an inevitable failure. That bill, please don't talk to me about it. I say it would be better to pretend it never happened, don't you agree? Certainly, but that won't stop the fool from asking again every day. Sponsor complete rewrite. We get one setback, and now we're back at 21%. So I'm still basically optimistic about our ability to actually do this. We got armies on both sides of here, but I believe Miranda is the capital. So we should actually basically be winning. The Venezuela no longer has war support protection, and they're losing war support at an alarming rate. So we should be good to go. Meanwhile, in America, a capitalist revolt is shaking the country. Let's see. America's very low down in the prestige rankings. Are they still... Okay, so the revolt doesn't get the penalties associated with the bankruptcy that the United States still does. Oh, they also lost prestige from being forced to ban slavery. That's interesting. Let's see. Costa Rican liberal revolt. Would you like to become a subject of Brazil? No. Sad panda. Alright. So with Venezuela sorted out, annex, that should be done in another couple of weeks. We're going to need to reset production methods and whatnot. Basically work out what we're doing over here. All right, propose. All right. State actions, reset production methods, incorporate, and we'll get started on incorporating them. That was a huge amount of bureaucracy, but it's fine. Not hugely popular. Zulia is very populous. That's interesting. So, what does that do for our market? Glass is still enormously expensive. I never finished out building all those glassworks. If I went to covered markets, I could really increase the level of services available at a slight reduction in the cost of wood, but increase in the cost of glass and steel. But not that much, only by like 320 and 119. So that's not that bad. Let's go ahead and get some glassworks, some more glassworks under construction. Let me see. Well, we got a stall event. That's unfortunate. So, let's put another 5 levels in Baixo Paraguay, and we'll put another 5 levels in Rio de Janeiro, and that'll let us do what we wish. Diplomatic ties with Finland lost. Well, that's all right. And this agitator guy wants a presidential republic, but I don't want that. Yet, at least. Carnival. Carnival. This year's Carnival celebration is planned to be especially splendid in Bahia. This could be an opportunity to appease the masses. Women painted in as spirits dance down the streets as the men drum bewitching beats to throaty tunes. Children wave flags and sticks of fried food alike. The streets, once drab in the everyday bustle, exalt glory in a sea of color and glee. For one small moment, the world seems at peace. A fine distraction, extra lower and middle stratum pops become loyalist, or organize a truly magnificent festival. This costs a pile of cash, we'll get way more loyalists. I'm doing the first one, or the second one, rather. I'm going to organize a magnificent festival. That seems like the right thing to do. Alright, so we got our canal built. We're going to subsidize the canal, and that's going to hire a bunch of people. Panama should have the population to support it. It doesn't. And why is the lower stratum having such a low local price? Such a low standard of living? Talk to me. It's probably local prices, but why? Like, local prices are on average high. We're producing a lot of paper. Do we have a market access issue? No. We've got a greener grasses campaign. And high attractions. There's people moving here. Why is the situation so rough? I can't filter here. I'm sorting by local price. Grain is reasonably affordable. Fruit, coffee. Let me see. Clothes are pretty expensive. And furniture is a little expensive. So I think we want to build just a couple levels of furniture manufactories and textile mills. Just enough to produce what we need to produce in the area to bring the standard of living up. And I'm going to put those at the top. We have a slight construction efficiency penalty, but nothing we can't deal with. Raising concerns. The petit bourgeois have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Brazil with a dense and vicious poison. This needs to be addressed. Angry industrialists, happy petit bourgeois. Petit bourgeois are very happy at this point. Or they need to accept we cannot always please everyone. I'm going to go with the second one. Weaker petit bourgeois is not bad for me. Alright. So, I think our next foreign policy ambitions are going to be to take over Argentina and Chile. Argentina has been thoroughly colonizing these areas at this point. So, we'll be able to get them once that's done, assuming we can. I might want to wait and do Chile first. Chile is a stronger target, but I think that's completely reasonable. Argentina has a pretty large... They've got national militia. That's why their number of recruitable battalions is so high. So next we're going to form the Panama Canal Company. Let's see. We can form a Panama Canal Company, right? I didn't do all this for nothing, right? Please tell me I can form a Panama Canal Company. I'll be so sad if I can't form a Panama Canal Company. Did I just miss it? Oh boy, I know this is riveting content here. Rosada. Looking for that sweet, sweet Panama Canal icon in the needed buildings zone. Let's see. Has this really all been for naught? Is my 50,000 pounds a week just not going to happen? Gosh, we got another stall event. That is really, really unfortunate. Well, I certainly feel like I've been robbed here. Yeah, not super pleased with this. Overall, I assumed that any country could build a Panama Canal Company as long as they've built the Panama Canal. Okay, here we go. Now I should have access to it. So, in any case, let's do these events. Parties, particularly the Free Trade Party, are struggling to raise enough funds for all their campaigning needs this election. Some money can be spared for the Free Trade Party. Every party can be provided with basic election funding this cycle. If they can't afford to campaign, they shouldn't be campaigning. I'm going to do the last one. I don't need a strong Free Trade Party. Legislative failures, again, will sponsor a complete rewrite. We're at 2 setbacks. I'm not pleased at this point. Production and agitation. In collaboration with the Liberal Party, Augusto Caldwell secured a deal for cheap and quickly distributed pamphlets in support of the party. The interior of the carriage held a pleasant surprise, a crate of several thousand pamphlets printed on an industrial scale, each with instructions on the voting process and a cheaply copied logo of the Liberal Party. They made a hefty weight, and he hoped would turn out to be an equally sized benefit. Bury our opponents in a sea of paper. So that's going to give the Liberal Party even more momentum than they already have, which is quite a bit. So I'm projecting a successful election for them. Javanese uprising and Mawari military revolt. I'm just going to go ahead and declare neutrality on both of these. I don't really see any need. I'm not going to stand against my own ally. That's right. We're improving relations with Florida. What if I turned Florida into a protectorate? That would be very, very funny. The Brazilian Protectorate of Florida. What a great situation. Well, I see. All of our support for this one's coming from the trade unions, from the movement. So it's not like anyone in the government actually wants universal suffrage to happen. Still, we're at 20%. We had a 61% stall chance. Is that just because of the industrialists? That's a lot of stall chance. But I don't want them in the in the pro-census suffrage movement, because that's going to make this movement a problem. There's hand-cranked machine gun, so that'll improve our military situation pretty significantly. Alright, now let's try making ourselves a Panama Canal company. Here we go. Establish. Alright, and this is just going to give us 50,000 tax income per week, which is going to be a huge, huge shot in the arm. We got the monitor spreading, and we got some extra armies. So, let's upgrade these line infantry. And we got another fleet. We'll go ahead and put those in the Armada Nacional. And here is our election results. Perfect. Ruling parties still have 90% of the vote. Still feeling pretty good about that. We still got 3 years on this. How long until we can make this guy leadership? 26 months. So beginning of 97, we'll be able to pull this out. And then this event will just end. Because the intelligentsia don't want that anymore. Come on, 20%. I've had decent chances on this. If I can get really lucky, I can get a success here. Straight out of the legislative graveyard into law. Please don't give me a stall. Gosh darn it. Man, if the push for universal suffrage ends in a failure, I'm going to be very, very unhappy. Because I really want these loyalists real bad. I've got a huge number of radicals at this point, but most of them are in what was formerly Venezuela, because nobody likes being taken over. So let's see. So we're still building these glassworks. So what else do we need? We need some more lead. We're actually really short on lead, because I built up a bunch of glassworks. Well, that does make sense. I need more steel mills and lead, friends, in addition to glassworks. So, does Venezuela have any lead? No, it's all way out here in the west. I guess there's some in Minas Gerais. And some in Rio Grande do Sul. Well, maybe I spoke a little too soon. Let's put 5 levels in Rio Grande do Sul, 5 levels in Jujuy, and we'll do 5 levels in Potosi. That's... How many lead mines have I already got? That's way more lead than I need, actually. We'll just do 5 levels in Rio Grande do Sul. I keep forgetting I'm not actually a gigantic, full-fledged economy at this stage. Alright, any more gold mines? Cajamarca has gold mines available. Wonderful. I'm actually going to put those at the top of the track because I have a company construction bonus. That's pretty cool. Not that big of a deal at this stage, but still very cool. So next I'm going to need a few more steel mills, because we're building a lot of steel. Let's put Let's put 2 more in Bahia, 2 more in Sao Paulo, 3 in Rio de Janeiro, and 2 in Minas Gerais. Let's see, that's 10. I only need 9. So we'll cut one of the ones from Rio de Janeiro. And then glass is getting a lot better. Definitely need more furniture and paper mills and coal. Could use a little bit more wood, so let's provide some logging jobs here in Venezuela. And then coal. All of our coal... Oh, okay, beautiful. We've got some more coal in the north. And the Zulia's got a huge amount of labor available. So we'll just build 10 coal mines right there. And then another 5 in Antioquia. So moving right along here, I should have our wood situation dealt with. Clothes are generally a little expensive, so a few more textile mills and whatnot couldn't hurt. How much has the building that we've already done? Okay, the building that we've already done has increased the standard of living in Panama significantly, to the point where they are not... The average lower sternum pop is no longer below the necessary level. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. We've got our lovely canal. It's only costing us about 2K a month, and it'll be generating 50K, or 2K a week. And it'll be generating 50K a week in a bit once the Panama Canal Company is fully prosperous, which it should be in another 3 weeks. And once that happens, we'll be just exactly where we want to be. We've got 10.5 million in the gold reserve, and our gold reserve limit is 12.5 million. So part of the reason that keeps going up is because our economy is actually growing at a really rapid rate. So I think the next thing we want to do... We got these gold mines, we got these glass works. Gold mines are almost done, and then the lead mines will be good to go. I'm only expanding my lead infrastructure by 70%, and I think actually, now that I'm looking at the math here, I think we're actually going to need more than that. So, let's go ahead and build up those ones in Jujuy that I was talking about. We'll do 3 in Jujuy and 3 in Potosi. I know that's not ideal from a development standpoint, but I think it's the right call. We'll put those in front of the steel mills, and those will cover everything we need. And law debate failed. Well, unfortunately, Universal Suffrage will elude Brazil for now. Rubber Rush, this place seems to be most effective. But at least it'll satisfy the census suffrage dorks in our country. So that's good. That's really a shame. I really wanted to get... We'll make progressivism happen in the future. Legislative failures. Off to the fire with the entire notion, then. Of course, now the radicalism of the Universal Suffrage movement is high. Are you freaking kidding me with this? I did my best. What do you want from me? Alright. So, this is not ideal. Because the movement is actually quite large, but this... Disbanded a bunch of movements. I can't put the trade unions in the government for now. This is a real haymaker, I have to say. But I have such a legitimate government. Okay, what can I do to make the trade unions happier? What do the trade unions want? What do the people desire? They would love better welfare. They would love regulatory bodies. They would love workers' protections. They would love to not have a professional army. They're against slavery, and they're currently led by a reformer who's happy with property women but would love better children's rights. I don't have human rights researched right now, and that's just kind of where we are. I'm working on trench works, and I'm doing that ahead of time. That might be a mistake, but obviously I've got to increase my military methods. Human rights is currently spreading to us, so I could try and make that happen. But this is just a movement. This is just a popular movement. It's not going to get above 50 right now. And I've got an alliance with Great Britain, so I can win against this. On the other hand, I don't necessarily... Like, I do want a universal suffrage country. So we'll see. We'll kind of play things by ear at the moment. But it's getting to be time for me to close out the episode, so we're going to have to do that. I'm going to do this event, and then we'll get going there. Despite not enjoying full rights under Brazilian law, some wealthy Catholic people have been moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. If we want our children to have a future, this is where we should raise them, he said. I want them to live somewhere safe. She crossed her arms. Have you seen the looks we get? When people talk about safe, they don't mean for us, they mean from us. We mean some new regulations to keep the peace, extra radicals from discrimination, radical Catholic pops, or they've fairly earned their success in all that it entails. This makes the rural folk unhappy, but makes Catholic pops more loyalist. I'm going to go with the second one. We still have a lot of Catholic pops. Weakening the rural folk is not going to be a tragedy, and they're pretty happy overall. So the trade unions will not be impacted if we go to elected bureaucrats. If we go to guaranteed liberties, we will get a... Well, they don't actually care about that. That's interesting. And then... Only the industrialists will be happy with a private health insurance system. Gosh, this is really annoying. If you can't... Why can't you give me enough enactment chance to actually be able to do this thing? In any case, that is all we've got for today, friends. I have had fun. I hope you've had fun as well. I will see you all on the other side.